Good evening. Welcome aboard Crown Prince. This is Dianna Chenevert, and tonight I'm going to share about the Southern Stars poster because people keep asking me. And if you are preparing to go to the Jazz and Heritage Festival in April, these are a lot of the people that performed at the Jazz and Heritage Festival. I owned a booking agency in New Orleans, lived there for 22 years, and the agency I founded was Omni Attractions. My booking agency was on the corner of Valence and Chapatula Street. It was Rosie's old nightclub, and that's where this main picture was taken. As you can see, I'll try to sharpen it a little bit. And that photograph was taken by Michael P. Smith, and he's deceased now, but for decades he documented from 1970, I think till 2004 when he retired because he was ill. Documented the Louisiana music and the culture, and wrote 5 books. His all of his collection, like thousands of tens of thousands. I don't know. He had so many photographs and slides and recordings of the entertainers from New Orleans that the historical collection, New Orleans Historical Collection, purchased his whole archive. And so I'm honored and blessed that I had him available, and he did this. Now, my vision was to create a page of Louisiana music history and promote the entertainers I represented, and these were the first 40 ones that I worked with. And I asked them to give me pictures of them when they were children, and these entertainers gathered up pictures. It took them 8 months. That's me on the phone already making connections. There's Fats Domino doing one of his first recordings. But anyway, Irma Thomas with her pretty smile. There's Oliver Morgan, so many. Toots Washington, Tony Klatka from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. There's Art Neville, riding on a pony when he was just a kid. Clarence Gatemouth Brown, Doug Kershaw, Aubry twins, right below him. Frogman Henry, who I booked for the Rolling Stones private party. Luther Kent, who is the singer for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Earl King. So it's a neat collection. Danny and Blue Lou Barker, Bobby Cure. And Dave Bartholomew and Fats Domino worked together, and they wrote all their songs together. So, they sold millions and millions of copies, so they had to be pretty good. Every one of these people, when I booked them, were such a blessing to work with, and they were respectful, and I was respectful to them and treated them like family, and they meant a lot to me, and so this is part of my vision, like I said, was to promote them. Some of them were up and coming. They weren't yet known, so the more famous ones helped to get the others on the map. Like the Dirty Dozen Brass Band was just coming out, and actually the Dirty Dozen was playing at the Rolling Stones private party in '81 too. So we all worked together as a team and helped each other, and little by little they kept working on their gift and developed it, and gosh, they've made history. They've performed in the United States, Europe, around the world, and so they're well known. Right now it's April 2018, and I first created this. I asked my friend Misha Filippov to help me with designing the poster, and Michael P. Smith took the picture, and I got all the musicians to give me pictures of them. We designed it, And when USA Today came to New Orleans for the first time, they established, the founder, Al Newith, had established and founded USA Today in 1982. So I think I gave this to him in 1983. I'd have to look it up to tell you the exact date. But when we welcomed them to New Orleans, Fats Domino signed a copy of the poster for him. Otherwise, people could not have the poster unless they booked a band through me. Like when I did the Rolling Stones private party, or the shows in Dallas, or the heir to Kentucky Fried Chicken got a poster because they were the ones that booked Fats Domino from me for the Dallas Alley show. And just depends. I did some shows in the Superdome, and some shows depending on which group it was. Some of them just worked little clubs, and so we had a nice mixture of groups. I enjoyed doing the private party for Harry Connick Jr. Was just a kid, and I booked Harry Connick Jr. He's not on this poster, but I booked him at the Al Copeland's with Walter Washington, which was really fun. And back in the day, when Vance DeGeneres, who is hiding back here, Ellen DeGeneres' older brother, had his band in New Orleans. I booked him. He lives in Los Angeles now. And I'm proud of a lot of these guys that are still alive and performing. Doug Kershaw still carrying on his tradition of sharing and the Cajun music and style, and Bruce Daigrepont, and then of course Dave Bartholomew is still around, and Wynton Marsalis is got a school in helping young jazz musicians, and each and every one of them were so gifted and gave so much to this world. So I was blessed and honored to work with him, and I was thankful that we had this opportunity when USA Today came, and like I said, in 1983 we gave them a poster. It went into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame 2012. It went into the Hard Rock Cafe in the 80s, and I think it was the 80s, late 80s, because I booked from 1980 to 1994. I actually worked in the industry before that, a few years before, but I founded Omni Attractions in the early 80s. And people asked me about it so much that I thought I would share a little bit about it. And the book I'm writing, A Search for Truth, then I won't have to tell the story 50 times. And April is the month that Jazz and Heritage Festival will be, the end of this month. April 30th is my birthday, and it is also the state of Louisiana's birthday. And it was kind of a neat thing because I had no idea the state was turning 200 years in 2012, and that's the same year that the Southern Stars poster went into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame. So my vision, never give up in your visions and dreams, because if these musicians and people like Fats Domino hadn't believed in what I was doing and my idea, we wouldn't have this. I'm kind of like the first Facebook of Louisiana music history in a sense. I helped document this group of people and all of their wonderful talent, and I hope that something I said will bless you. I will tell just a little bit about it. There's going to be one chapter in A Search for Truth about the Southern Stars poster and the musicians that I worked with. I have so much more in the book too, but this is one season of my life that I really enjoyed. And when I went to New Orleans for Fats Domino's funeral. You know, he passed away in October 2017, and it was really hard, but it was nice to see some of the musicians that I had worked with in the past. I wanted to go in honor of Fats and his family because they were so good to me and my sons. And Fats, after Hurricane Katrina, of course, he and Aaron Neville had asked me to give them posters or any pictures I had because they lost everything. So I took Fats some, and actually he signed this one after Hurricane Katrina we all dealt with, and it was kind of wild. I gave him several of them, and my son James Gonsolin was with me that day, and Fats just signed one for me, or signed a couple of them for me, and I thought, well, wow, you know, I brought them for him and for whoever he wanted to give them to, but he kept several and gave me back a couple too. So anyway, thank you for letting me share this sentimental time. As you know, Crown Prince, the vessel that I'm on, is a 37-foot yacht, and I'm restoring it for my eco-friendly project, a resting place retreat center. And so, being eco-friendly minded, I also rented a electric car for Fats Domino's Second Line Memorial, and drove it and brought several friends of mine from New Orleans with me, whoever I could grab that was available and spontaneous like me. And we had, if it wasn't for them keeping me laughing, I probably would have cried the whole time, because I cried all the way from 10 hours up to New Orleans. Anyway, love you guys, and for all of you who have family members that are passed away, I'm praying for y'all, and but I hope that this will bless you and bless your family. I am not going into a lot of details about everything, but I will mention everyone's name because, of course, there's a full list, and I can put it in the book, A Search for Truth, and I hope you have a very blessed evening, and gosh, I don't know. Sometimes I look at it and I want to cry because I miss y'all. But you know I love you. Hugs from Mama D. God bless.